So we are picking up from where we left off. This should be out of your skill building worksheet. And depending on our colored pencils, again, yours are going to be slightly different than mine. It's going to be interesting how we do this. So we're going to start with the tertiary colors, which is taking a primary and mixing a secondary with it, which is going to create a new color. So this is where our colored pencils, we're going to test them out to see if they mix well. I don't know if they mix well. This is new to me. I mean, I've mixed colored pencils, but trying to do it on a camera, making sure it works right, we're just going to have to see. So you're going to get your blue and your purple, and we're going to make a new blue purple in this extra slice. Now, we always want to use the darker color last. The lighter color would be purple. So what I'm going to do is color this square or the slice with my purple, and then I'm going to go over it with my blue, and then I'm going to go back over it darker with my purple. And I'm just going to keep doing that until I notice that it's a little bit different shade than the blue or the purple. You should start to see like a dark purple. And again, blue is a stronger color, so we don't need to push as hard with the blue. I'm kind of pushing hard with the purple. That did not work too bad. That's pretty fine. So now that we're going to take this information, we're going to put it over here in one of the squares. Again, I'm going to start with purple, layering these two, not pushing down with so much force on my blue, but pushing down more with. Okay, so now we're going to move to red and purple. So I'm going to keep my purple, move to my red. Again, now purple is the stronger color. Red is not as strong. So I'm going to start with my red in this slice between the two. It is what I'm aiming for. Not bad. Again, moving over, we're going to do it to this square. We're just going to keep moving along on the color wheel, looking at the two that are next to it, the primary and the secondary, and then using those to layer within our slice and then our square. So feel free to start moving along. If you're working ahead of Miss Lawson, that is fine. Just make sure that you're doing it right, that you don't mess up like this on, which is not going to mess me up because we needed to layer that there. So I kind of did a step forward. Again, always starting with the lighter color, then the darker color, pushing harder with the lighter color, not as hard with the darker color. Okay. Orange and red. So again, keep the red, move to orange. Again, switching. Orange is the lighter, red is the darker. So I've got my first layer of orange. And this one actually has a red orange right here, but that's not the purpose. I want us to know what two colors make it. I don't want to always grab what is available and easy. I need to know what's behind. Okay, when I've got that, moving on to my square. I'm just curious, once I get this square, I'm going to take that red orange over here. I'm going to color next to it to see how close I am. So this is the actual red orange that Crayola provided. See, to me, I feel like that's really red. I feel like it needs to be more orange. So maybe if I colored over that part with it. Okay. Again, orange and yellow. So I'm switching my red for my orange. Again, yellow is the lighter one. So if you notice, every time I switched to the next set, the color that was light becomes the darker, and the color that was new is the lighter. So again, a yellow orange is what I'm. This one may not take as long to get because yellow is such a light color. Again, move down here. I'm going to do it right underneath here. So, okay, so yellow, green. I've already added the yellow, obviously. Now I'm adding the green on top. And again, they have a yellow green, but we're going to make our own, and then we'll test it against it to see, well, if you don't have that, to see how well yellow green we created. Remember, colored pencils should not be going in the electronic sharpeners. That's what the sharpeners at the table or the one that's in your bag should be used for. Okay. Again, when we're going down here, move this way. And then I'm going to test their yellow or green against what I've created. Okay, let's test it. I think that's pretty close. I mean, obviously you see a lot of yellow, but lightening up the green, I think it worked pretty well. I'm going to test over here. This is the fun thing about these papers we can test. I'm going to do green first, then add yellow on top. And then use their yellow green and compare. See, I actually like this better than what I did here. Again, this is the fun thing about being able to do the skill building. It kind of, we get to play to see how we can and can do it, because I wouldn't want to do this obviously on my piece of art. But I like doing the green down, which is the darker color, and adding the yellow on top. I feel like that look is better than what I got here. But again, Miss Lawson messed up, so we're moving on. Green and blue. So I'm going to switch out my yellow for my blue. Again, green and blue, I would say they're both pretty dark. Okay, tertiary colors. Again, that is taking your primary, red, yellow, blue, mixing it with your secondary. That's creating a new color. That is your color wheel. Again, I prefer, take my pencil and label these colors. Orange, green, purple. Oh, that's not blue. See? Use a pencil. That way, if you mess up, like Miss Lawson did again. Blue's over here. Blue, this is blue, red. I'm just going to put initials. Red, purple, red, orange, orange, yellow, yellow, green, blue, green. So if you want to label those, that's helpful. And then the next part is complementary, cool, warm, and monochromatic. Again, put this in your skill building folder. It's going to go to the left because we're still not done. We're still going over these important colors for color theory, so you know your color schemes.